Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna talk about business planning. But before we do so, I would like to explain to you the importance of focus. So I'll tell you a story about focus. You know what happens when you put a magnifying glass under a sun on a piece of paper and you shake it around? You don't focus it, nothing happens. But if you keep it concentrated, the paper starts burning. Same thing as when you aim at something and you look around. You don't aim at the target, you won't hit it. Entrepreneurship is like a marathon with a lot of sprints in between. So it's occasionally important to take your time off to organize your thoughts. Now, business planning is the step after idea generation, idea evaluation. A business plan usually consists mostly of numbers. So what we do is we usually split it into 5 different segments. One is the actual heart of the business plan, which is the P&L, the profit and loss statement, which basically starts on top with the volume, which could be the traffic or the number of registrations or the number of subscriptions. However you want to have it in your business plan, on top is usually the volume, which then converts into transactions with a certain average transaction value, which then translates into revenues or sales. After your cost of goods sold, or the amount of money you have to pay for that product to be able to sell it, you will have your margin. And after your margin, you usually have other operational expenses such as marketing costs or rent or salaries, which then later on, after the total cost, boils down to your EBIT. We call it the earnings before interest and tax. And without going into further details, you will later on also have your net profit, which is basically what you make out of this business. Now you have 2 perspectives on a business plan usually. One is the EBIT perspective and the other perspective is the cash perspective, which basically boils down to your cash flow statement. We're not going to go into the details of those now, but give you rather a basic structure of how to build your business plan. The P&L, however, needs other segments of the business plan to be complete, which is usually the staff plan, which basically tells you about the personnel you'll need to hire, at what price, and at what time, which then translates into the cost segment of your P&L. And the other part is the general cost plan, which is basically a summary of all your cost areas. You start with administrative costs, telecommunications costs, or other things such as your office rent, or other generic costs such as IT costs or security costs or logistics costs. It all basically will be part of the cost plan, which then also goes into the cost plan within your P&L. Now what's really important is one separate sheet which is just dedicated to your assumptions. And your assumptions are all debatable, hard-coded fields in your business plan. Something could be the conversion rate of your volume, of your traffic. How many people of your visitors will actually translate into revenues? These are certain things you can debate with your founding partners or your potential investors. Other things in your assumptions plan could, for example, be your growth rates. Your growth rates in terms of visitor numbers or other assumptions such as your initial margins and its growth rates. Last but not least, you will have a management summary, which summarizes the most important KPIs, which are the key performance indicators, in one overview. This is something you have to discuss with potential investors or your team members at first glance. And if you would like to drill down, you go into the P&L or even further into the assumptions sheet. To make it even look more appealing, you then summarize all of this into a presentation, which are slides and nice graphics around your business plan, which also introduces your team and usually the background of your idea and further accomplishments you have already achieved within your company. So guys, now we have covered idea evaluation and even a part of the business plan. The next step would actually be team building, because now you know how much you can spend on your team and when you need to hire them, because it's part of the business plan. We can then discuss best practice in hiring teams. So stay tuned and I see you soon.
Apply now at startuphero.com.